Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, shut up. Shut up. All right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. It is Mr. Cowboys fan. Of course, before we proceed into the video, leave a like and subscribe. It is I, Mr. Cowboys fan, where we talk about cowboy things. All right, so you want to know what the frustrating thing about doing this whole freaking, YouTube thing and of course, recording yourself and stuff like that? Well, not recording myself, but recording myself talking. All right. Trust me, you guys are never going to, see a face cam of me. Unless y'all, leave hit that like button and more people, in here and grow this community. Yeah. No. All right. I'm not showing my face. But either way, yeah, the toughest part about trying to do this YouTube thing and being a cowboy content creator that I just, came to the conclusion and realization that that's what I wanted to, do as a side job is that sometimes you have errors and you can't get it back. You just have to move forward and try to fix it. I just did a whole 44.5 minute segment, me recording myself, talking and discussing about this whole, thing that I'm literally about to talk about and discuss again. All right. But I just went through a whole 44.5 minute segment of me discussing everything that I'm going to talk about again. And I didn't realize it until I went to try to go edit the video and make little, minor, like edits and stuff to the video that I realized that I didn't have my mic on. I didn't have my mic on, bro. Let's just get into this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I watched Mark Schlereth. Well, not Mark Schlereth. God dang it. So I watched Dak Attack earlier today, and basically, like he showed at the beginning of the video, he was showing how Mark Schlereth was talking about how he was saying things, some positive things about Dak Prescott, and he apparently was, mentioning about Joe Klatt, who's like an announcer or something like that for college football, and they were discussing about, like certain guys, do they pass the confetti test? And if you aren't aware of what that means, as far as the confetti test, basically the confetti test is, can you see this guy, the confetti falling on him and him hoisting up the Lombardi trophy standing on the podium? And I believe Dak Prescott passes that confetti test. He does. And I know people will be like, well, you could say that about a lot of quarterbacks, but I'm just saying, when you watch Dak Prescott and the way that he can orchestrate the offense, and when he's on, he is on, and the offense is like a well-oiled machine, bro. Like the way he just conducts the offense, like even to perfection, is, incredible. And he's just, like the kind of guy that you want to root for, and the guy that you want him to shut up all these haters out there and win a Super Bowl, and it's gonna be like, what can they say now? What want him to do it again? All right, that's about the only thing that they would be able to say at that point. And I'm actually making a bold statement now, right now, that I'm gonna be honest. It's year 9 for Dak Prescott. Tony Romo figured it out year 9 of his career. You know, he figured it all out. He was just one blown call by the referees on that Des Bryant catch. That was the only thing that could stand in between Tony Romo and being able to have the opportunity to truly put together a championship run. And then, of course, like you have Drew Brees who did it. Peyton Manning was able to do it, in year 9 of his career. These are just examples of legend quarterbacks, or 2 of the 3 at least. Legendary quarterbacks who were able to put it all together in year 9, of their careers. So it's very coveted that Dak Prescott can, definitely make it happen in his 9th year of his career. He is in the prime of his career right now. And I'm making a bold statement. I believe that Dak Prescott is going to take the Dallas Cowboys to the Super Bowl in 2024. 2024 NFL season, he is going to take the Dallas Cowboys to the Super Bowl. I'm making a bold prediction right now. And that's pretty much what it is, That's what I feel. And then Mark Schiller also went on to talk about how when you look at everybody else in the NFC, Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC. And the reason why that hypes me up so much, when these players who've played the game, and they talk highly about Dak Prescott, and they actually understand and they know, because they've played at the highest level and understand what it takes to be able to make it happen, they know that Dak can make it happen. But he also mentioned the fact that, he's also, like, it's hard because he's having to play in the organizational situation that he's in makes it hard for him to be able to do that, because he plays for the Dallas Cowboys and he plays under the thumb of Jerry and Stephen Jones. So, it's just as hard for him to be able to do it with some of the situation that he has around him, But as far as what Mark Schlereth said, he's right. He's absolutely right. And you're talking about a guy who is a 3-time Super Bowl champion, blocked for a Hall of Fame quarterback in John Elway, who won Super Bowls as well. So, yeah, there's not much you can say after that. As far as, like what he said. After that, there's really not much to discuss as far as Mark Schlereth related. But I'm just saying, you would be hard pressed to be able to find a quarterback in the NFC that is better than Dak Prescott. You might be able to find a quarterback in the NFC that has had better team success, has had a better team around him, so he was able to put together a Super Bowl run like Jalen Hurts did in 2022, or like Brock Purdy did last year, or even Jared Goff taking the Lions to the NFC Championship game. You might find other quarterbacks who might have been put in better situations as far as coaching goes, team roster goes, but you won't find a quarterback in the NFC that is better than Dak Prescott right about now. And here's the thing. They talk about, like how they talk about wins and losses. And here's my thing. I don't know about y'all, but wins and losses is not a quarterback statistic. It's not. All right. Quarterback is a team statistic. The fact of the matter is that you think Troy Aikman won all those Super Bowls by himself? You think Terry Bradshaw won all those Super Bowls by himself? Joe Montana, Tom Brady, like Patrick Mahomes currently right now? You think that they're winning these Super Bowls by themselves? No, they're not. And the thing is that these analysts, they expect the quarterback alone, just the quarterback alone, to rise his level of play. They expect him to rise his level of play and only him only. But what they don't realize is to some of them that used to, some of them, that apparently don't understand it. Some people like Shannon Sharp, for example, all right, who you played the game, you understand how much it is important for everybody on the team to rise their level of play in the playoffs. Everybody needs to buy into this. Everybody. So the manner and the narrative that the quarterback position is the only person that needs to step up and raise their level of play on the field is ridiculous, because that's not true. Everybody needs to raise their level of play. This is the playoffs, man. All right? This is the playoffs. Everybody needs to raise their level of play because everybody in the playoffs are good. So, fact of the matter is, Dak, he's done what he's done, and, the fact of the matter is the only thing that he's missing right now is a Super Bowl ring. And as soon as he makes that happen, then everything changes. I promise you, one Super Bowl run can change your whole legacy around. If you have the stats, of course, to, go with it. But, man, bro, that Super Bowl can alter your legacy forever. Forever. Matthew Stafford, you could argue that he's officially a first ballot Hall of Famer when it's all said and done because of the run that he made in 2021. Hey, that was a bar. But anyway, yeah, so that's really what it all boils down to. Dak has done everything. And the fact that I'm not going to bring up league MVP because first off, he plays for the Dallas Cowboys. It doesn't matter how good he plays. It doesn't matter if he throws 40 touchdowns and over 5,000 yards this season. He's not going to win league MVP because he plays for the Dallas Cowboys. They're not going to give it to him, no matter how good he plays. So league MVP, I feel like, is an overrated, accolade and accomplishment, because at the end of the day, most guys, it's about winning that brass ring. That's what it's about. You can have all these league MVPs and offensive player of the years and stuff like that, but it's about that brass ring. That's the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate accolade and accomplishment that can officially change your whole legacy and your whole career. Because the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter. Even if Dak Prescott was to win league MVP, people would still not respect him because they would still be like, he still can't do anything in the playoffs. So Dak Prescott, I am definitely, really counting on him to really be able to, take his game to the next level this season, because I really believe that he's going to, year 9, I feel like he's going to have it all figured out. So that's just my take on that. He said he's the best quarterback in the NFC, and there's not really much I need to say because I've been said that I keep telling people that, that he's the best quarterback in the NFC right now, but people will of course continue to scoff at you if you say that, but that's pretty much what that is. Let me get to the next topic. Okay, so ESPN came out with their top 10 quarterbacks going into the 2024 season. And you can just take a quick glance and see that there is obviously something highly, highly wrong with this picture. They got Dak Prescott at 10. You expect me to believe that Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Lamar Jackson are all better than him? No. No, not even close. All right. I'm sorry. But I believe that the top 3 can stay the same. If I were to redo this top 10 list on my own, which I am, I'm going to do this, that I believe Dak is at 4. Lamar should be at 5. I think that Aaron Rodgers is still a bad son of a gun, man, at quarterback. All right. I'm sorry. So he should always still be ranked pretty high and at least close to top 5. So I'm putting him at 6. I'm putting Matthew Stafford at 7. I'm putting Jared Goff at 8. I have CJ Stroud at 9. And I have Justin Herbert at 10. I there's nothing wrong with the quarterbacks they have in the top 10. It's just that the order is not right, like it's just not right. So, like I believe without a doubt that Dak Prescott is, I've said, made my list before talking about how the only quarterbacks that you can really honestly say that are above him are Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes. CJ Stroud is, still got to see what he does, his second year. He had a really good rookie season, but do you honestly believe that was better than what Dak Prescott did last year? Jared Goff, he played well, but do you honestly believe that he was better than Dak Prescott last season? Same with Herbert. Like, come on, man. Aaron Rodgers, bro. Like, Matthew Stafford. Yeah, probably only the ring that you can have, but to put, in that argument, but that's about it. And that wasn't even last year. But Lamar Jackson, look, he won league MVP over Dak last year, but I still don't believe he deserved it. I mean, bro, what from last year gives you any sort of idea that Dak deserves to be number 10. All right. He led the league in touchdown passes. All right. He threw for over 4,500 yards, second or third in the league. He had a 105 points something, passer rating last year, which was second in the league. He played practically with one hand tied behind his back last year because the offense was so one dimensional. Because, I mean, bro, everybody knew that our running game was struggling last year. Everybody knew it. They knew our running game was struggling last year. They knew we were going to pass. And Dak was still giving them the business, was still producing, playing in a one-dimensional offense. Crazy. And he did what he did. Like, you look at some of these quarterbacks. Jared Goff has an amazing running game that he was able to lean on. He's got an incredible offensive line protecting him. All right. Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles last year, but I mean, it is what it is. You do what you do as far as that. Justin Herbert, Justin Herbert, I mean, it's just, what? That doesn't even need any explanation. Matthew Stafford, the dude had a wide receiver 1 and a wide receiver 2. That's one thing I want to talk about. This one girl Mina, when I watched another Dak Attack video, she mentioned how the Dallas Cowboys' problems in the postseason has been that they haven't had a consistent number 2 option in the playoffs. Like, outside of CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, like, if CeeDee Lamb was bracketed, there wasn't really another consistent number 2 option that he can lean on. Jake Ferguson, he was there, he was there. We got to see him really come through this year, though. And then CeeDee Lamb early in his career, when it was Amari Cooper in 2021 in the NFC wild card, you had Amari Cooper, but CeeDee Lamb was non-existent. Like, you look at a lot of these guys have a phenomenal number 1, but they also have a really good and consistent number 2. All right? So, you can't put some of these guys above Dak Prescott, bro, because Dak was practically playing with one hand tied behind his back last year and did what he did. Come on, bro. Dak Prescott is definitely better than Jared Goff. Matthew Stafford had a pretty nice receiving core and nice weapons, as well as a lot of these guys. But like I said, Dak really has one superstar weapon, and then everybody else is still, in my opinion, still kind of question marks. But, it is what it is, bro. But let me just recap, how I changed this list. Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen can stay the same. Dak should be at 4. Lamar should be at 5. Aaron Rodgers should be at 6. Matthew Stafford should be at 7. Jared Goff should be at 8. CJ Stroud should be at 9. And Justin Herbert should be at 10. And the thing is that, of course, when I explain all of this that Dak Prescott did last year, that is, very well deserving of why he should definitely be, top 5 and be behind only Burrow, Allen, and Mahomes. But, of course, we all know what's going to, come out. It's like, what does he do in the playoffs, though? What does he do? And like, I know y'all, man. I know y'all. I know these people like Joy Taylor and Molly, bro. Like, I know them. This is the type of crap that they're going to try to pull, because they got nothing else much to really, go off of. First of all, I would like to point out that Lamar Jackson is 2-4 in the playoffs. 2-4 in the playoffs. And he gets talked about how much of a revolutionary quarterback he supposedly is. Even though he's just like most of these, new generation quarterbacks anyway. A quarterback who can run, who can pass, and run just as good as he can pass, if not run better. But I mean, it is what it is, man. Like, say what you want about that, but that kind of leads me to my final point. We got what these quarterbacks' defenses have given up in the playoffs. Now, the way this works is I wanted to take all of the quarterbacks, the active starting quarterbacks, and they have to have started at least 6 career playoff games. Brock Purdy, by the way, I didn't put him in this because he's played 6 career playoff games, but one of those 6 he literally was playing with a freaking injured elbow. So that doesn't even count. All right. But anyway, so yeah, I decided it came down to 8 quarterbacks, and I just want to go down this list. Number 1 is Lamar Jackson's defense has given up 18 points per game. You want to know what's crazy? Lamar Jackson is the most overrated, overhyped quarterback in the playoffs. All right, he just is. With the amount of help that he gets, especially defensively, I mean, it's ridiculous that he can't do nothing with that. There's a lot of quarterbacks on here that could get busy if their defense was giving up 18 points per game in the playoffs. There's a lot of quarterbacks on here who could get real busy if their defenses were giving up 18 points per game in the postseason. So, I mean, like, he had his 2 league MVP seasons. I don't even have to explain what happened in 2019 against the Titans. They laid an egg in that game. All right. And then last year in the AFC Championship game, when his defense held Mahomes and the Chiefs to 17 points and shut them out in the entire second half, what did Lamar Jackson do? He did nothing. He did absolutely nothing. Let everybody know, what did Lamar Jackson do with all those different drives, all those different opportunities that his defense was making stops and getting off the field? What did Lamar Jackson do? Absolutely nothing. Let's move on. Number 2 is Matthew Stafford's defense. His defense has given up 21.7 points per game. That's solid. A lot of that being, of course, carried by, that 2021 Super Bowl run, but that's also been half of his career playoff games. At number 3, Joe Burrow. His defenses have been pretty underrated as well, just like the Ravens defense, but obviously at a more larger scale, The Bengals defense is good, like they're underrated, but they're not like at the Ravens level, obviously. His defenses have given up 22 points per game in the playoffs, though. That's solid. Jared Goff's defense, mind you, I do want to, talk about how Loon and Arumo really like put the clamps on Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game in 2021, where they played pretty bad in the first half and then held, Mahomes and the Chiefs to 3 points in the entire second half. So, yeah, doesn't get talked about enough. But at number 4, you got Jared Goff's defense. They've given up 22.5 points per game. A lot of that coming from when he was with the Rams. With the Lions, his defenses haven't been true all that great, I'm going to be honest. But, there were a couple of plays that defense could have made in the NFC Championship game, I will say, including the circus catch that Brandon Ayuk made. That should have been a pick, mind y'all. So, anyway, then you got Patrick Mahomes at 5th. His defenses have given up 23.2 points per game in the playoffs in his career. A lot of that coming in the early part of his career, where his defenses were just bad, especially that 2018 AFC title game where his defense gave up over 500 yards of offense and 37 points, including letting Brady and the Patriots march right down the field, for the game-winning, score. I mean, just, ugh. But his defenses have really improved, though, lately. They have really improved. And then you have tied for 6th, actually. Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers' defenses have given up 25.7 points per game. That's almost 26 points per game. All right? Do you know how bad that is? Do you know how tough your defense giving up an average of almost 26 points per game? You have to play almost like really, really freaking good in order to have a chance. In order to, have a chance to win. You have to play really, really good when your defense is giving up an average of almost 26 points per game. Like, are you serious? I mean, look, they say defense wins championships. And I'm not going to say that the defense playing a whole lot better would, win us a championship alone. All right. I'm not saying that. You need everything to work for you, not just the quarterback, not just the offense, not just the defense. All right. It's everybody. So Warren Sapp said it best. Defense does not win you championships. It will give you a chance. And the offense has to go and win it for you. Well, that's what it is. If the defense could just play a whole lot better, all right, then and just give, give us a chance, then it would be, way more simpler and easier on Dak and Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to single out, just Dak Prescott. Aaron Rodgers has had pretty bad defenses too. So, either way, it's pretty bad. His defenses have been overall pretty bad. Even going back to his playoff debut, he threw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. He even ran for one. and he lost. His defense gave up 34 points. They allowed Aaron Rodgers to go 30 some, in 30 some seconds, drive down the field, including a third and forever play. I mean, to Jared Cook, that play still haunts me, every day. But yeah, and then the playoff debacle against the Rams, that by the way doesn't get, talked about, and doesn't get talked about a lot. But yeah, that happened. The Rams gashed our defense for 250 yards, right? Dominating time of possession, and then the 49ers playoff game. It didn't look like the defense played that bad because the 49ers didn't score a whole lot of points. They scored 23, but they ran the ball for 169 yards. They physically dominated our defense, dominated up front, controlling time of possession. Dak barely, had a chance to get the ball in that game because of the way the 49ers were taking control of the clock and the time of possession. My apologies, but yeah, it is what it is, man, then there was, of course, look, 2022, the defense, actually played well, they did. Dak just, wasn't able to get it done. It is what it is, But then there's last year. The infamous game from last year. Man, if I had a nickel for every single time that I saw a wide open receiver downfield, I'd probably have maybe $1, maybe half $1 at least, because it was ridiculous. I already went over this in the video when I was ranking every single Dallas Cowboy playoff loss since 1996. I almost broke my phone, dog, when I saw Tucker Kraft wide open and there was not a defender within 40 yards of him. It is what it is, man. That game by the defense was gutless. It was pathetic. It was just downright awful. Terrible. So, and then of course there's Josh Allen, his defense is ranked last in terms of points allowed in the playoffs. We know about Josh Allen and his defensive issues. The funny thing is that his defenses are really freaking good in the regular season. They just can't carry over that, amazing defense into the playoffs. I don't get it. It's kind of sad, but I'm just saying, you look at this list and you look at Dak Prescott being tied with Aaron Rodgers as far as being second to last among all 8 of these quarterbacks who have started at least 6 career playoff games, and what their defenses have been allowing in the playoffs. Dak is here near the bottom. His defenses have been absolutely atrocious. For the most part, his defenses have been pretty, atrocious. You compare Dak Prescott's defense or Aaron Rodgers' defense to Lamar Jackson's defense in the playoffs, and it's day and night, bruh. It's day and night. I don't want to hear a person say anything about Lamar Jackson not having help. at least especially on the defensive side of the ball. I don't want to hear anybody make any excuses for Lamar Jackson, because that dude has a Super Bowl caliber defense around him, and he's wasting it with some of these god awful performances in the playoffs that he's been having. So, people want to talk about Dak. Why not we talk about Lamar? So, that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, I pretty much had to, discuss this basically again. And I tried to keep the energy up throughout this video for y'all, because I didn't want to, do y'all dirty as far as like not keeping the energy up. Like, it was hard, bro, because do you know how much that does to your morale? Like, doing a 44.5 minute video, bro, and then going back and trying to edit it and realizing that your mic was turned off. So, my apologies, y'all. All right, but we got it done. It took later than expected, but, granted, I normally get these videos put out for you guys around this time anyway. So, but, that's all for today, for tonight's late night talk episode. Let me know y'all's thoughts in comments, down below. Do you agree that Dak Prescott, passes the confetti test? Do you believe that Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC? Do you agree with some of the reshuffles that I made about the top 10 quarterback list? And how do you feel about that list of quarterbacks that I just did when I did a little bit of research as far as adding up and finding the average points per game for these quarterbacks in the playoffs, and Dak is near the bottom down there. It's sad, man. It's sad. So, but, with that being said, to all my audience, to all of Cowboys Nation, this is Mr. Cowboys Fan. This is Late Night Talk episode 25, and we are out.